Namaste
Namaste.
Techies. Namaste
Namaste
Harjit.
Techies.
Namaste Harjit.
Namaste Anup. So fun. Always
So
fun.
yeah,
We bring a
it
lot of
is.
energy every single shift.
Yes. And
Hey,
lot of
so
love, right?
a lot of love. Yeah. So, anyways, energy and stuff like that. Really quickly, we want to acknowledge our followers and viewers. We've been getting a lot of great comments, a lot of great feedback that you guys like to see our raw nature of how we interact, our discussions. They're absolutely not planned. They're absolutely not rehearsed. We pick a topic that we want to talk about, and then we just go with the flow. So, what you see and hear is real, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, and so we want to thank everybody for being loyal and following and sharing and
Yeah.
uh, and keeping us going. So, yeah, this is awesome.
Thank you all.
Yeah, in our last show, we talked about Windows 365, and that was actually a very popular episode among our IT pro community. So I think we want to continue on that, piggyback on that momentum, right? And
Yep.
that's what we're going to talk about today again.
Yep. Okay,
All
so
right,
let's start, right?
let's start. Let's go for it.
Yeah. So today we are going to see like client side of things, right? From Windows 365, how the client portal looks like, and probably we will try to compare with AVD or Azure Virtual Desktop Client Portal, right? So
Right.
let's get started. Let me try to share my screen, and hopefully you can see my screen now.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, that's cool. So on the left side, you can see,
But first, you should tell people how to get to this, though.
yeah. So on left side, right, you can see a URL here that is windows365.microsoft.com.
Mhm.
That is the client side portal for Windows 365. Okay. And this is one of the way to access cloud PCs or Windows 365 personalized desktops, right? So if you want to go through the client web portal, this is the way. Otherwise, you can use the remote desktop client, right? Windows remote desktop client. And if you have other devices like other flavors of devices like Android, everything, right?
Mhm.
You can download the native client of Microsoft Remote Desktop from their portal. So I will quickly go into that in a bit. Right now,
So
let's
just
go.
so just a
Mhm.
quick explanation to those that probably don't are still confused about the client side. What what this explanation is that it's for the end user side. So, for example, if Anoop provisioned when a cloud PC for me, this is how I would come and access the resources.
Exactly. Thank you for that. Okay, so if this is the home page, right? And before
Mhm.
going into all the details of this home page and going into AVD stuff, right? On the right side, you can see the normal AVD client side, right? So end user can log into their Azure Virtual Desktop devices VMs from this portal, right? So we will go through that in detail. Before that, let me share the option to download the clients, right? So, for example, this is the home page for Windows 365 client side, right? And if I go to this option, Remote Desktop Client,
Mhm.
and if I click on this, you can see all the other remote desktop client applications available, right? So for example, if you are using Windows, you can download this Windows client MSI from here, right? And very important and very useful is you can get a subscription URL, right, from here. So that is easy, right? And
Yeah.
this is very user friendly, right? so that you don't have to go to Microsoft documentation or any blogs to check what is a subscription URL for AVD or Windows 365, right? So for Windows 365, this is the subscription URL, and I think it is same as AVD, right? There's no
Yeah.
change in the URL. As you can see, it is WVD Microsoft.com, and ARM is there, and feed discovery, right? So in the background, Windows 365 is using AVD infrastructure, right? So that is my Windows. That is for Windows. You can see it for Mac. You can download it from Mac App
Yeah.
Store,
Yeah.
and same is there for iOS. So
The
the important
iPhones
thing,
and
yeah,
yeah.
i- important thing is you have native client available in almost all the platforms, right?
Mhm.
So only thing is probably Linux is missing now. I think Microsoft is going to introduce that also soon, right? So probably we'll see a Linux
Yeah.
client over here maybe in future. Okay, so Android is also there. So let's go back to home and work through the portal itself, right? On the right side over here, you can see your login details if you want. If you click on
Mhm.
this A button, you can see the login details, and you can see like which user is logged in, etc., etc., right? And you can see settings over here. This is the default one, right? With Office portal, right? So this
Yeah.
is the default one, and if you click on help, this is also default one, right? And if you click on this button over here, you can see other options. What are the other options available here? If you are an
Mhm.
admin user, you can go to admin and all, but I don't think end user is going to see this. You can restrict that if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong, right? Okay, now what is this box? This is your cloud PC. Okay, this is your VM provisioned through Windows 365 service. Okay, so in the last video, we have shown how to we have gone through a demo portal, and
Yes.
in the demo portal, it showed how to go through, how to create, how to provision Windows 365 VM or cloud PC, right? So this is very useful box, I would say, right? This is very useful UI, right? And in the UI, you can see like two vCPUs are assigned to my VM, and 8 GB of RAM is there, 8 GB of RAM is there. This is the storage, right? Hard
Right.
disk. Okay, and this is
That's
very
more.
interesting. Yeah, this is very interesting. And if you go over here, you can see restart. Okay, and if I see over here on the AVD portal, right? I'm not going to explain what is AVD, and you might have already seen the AVD portal. That is rdweb.avd.microsoft.com and slash ARM, right? Web
Mhm.
client. That is the AVD portal, Azure Virtual Desktop portal, and AVD also we have the same kind of scenarios. You have options like this in AVD portal also, but I am missing these options, right? A
Yeah.
restart option, rename option, troubleshooting option. We don't have that. Okay, we don't have that over here. This is my AVD VM. Okay, and you can see the interesting point is you can see the cloud PC VM also over here in the AVD
In the
portal,
yeah, the AVD
right?
portal. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is really really good, right? At least we are not troubling the users that you need to use two portals, right? If they want, they can use the same portal, AVD portal, to access cloud PC as well as AVD VM. Okay,
Mhm.
and same thing with a remote desktop client, right? If you are using that MSI client on Windows, you subscribe to that particular feed which I have shown you before. You will get both the subscriptions, right? Both the AVD session host as well as cloud VM as well, cloud PC as well. Okay, So that's cool. But as I mentioned, there is no option like restart over here, right? If I click on it, there's no option like restart or something like that, right? That option is not there. Okay, that is where I like Windows 365.microsoft.com portal. Probably I'm thinking, I don't know anything about roadmap, but probably I have seen a lot of people who is running the AVD project is asking for this kind of button, right? Restart
Yeah,
button, etc., etc. So that is useful for the from end user perspective, at least for personal desktops, right? This is dangerous if we are using um, AVD VM for multi-session scenario, right?
exactly.
If if multiple users are logged into a VM, and if some of the end user restarted the VM, then it is going to
They'll
impact
lose their
all
work.
the yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's dangerous, right? Yeah.
Or if they're running some processes or some experiments and things like that, they'll lose it all, right?
Yeah. So it's always better to have this option, at least for personalized desktops, right? So that
I
is
think
why
I can see it in the future.
uh-huh.
I won't be surprised that that will be incorporated as well. But for multi sessions, I think you'll get a warning. There'll be something about, hey, are you sure you want to do this? You have, three other users currently logged on to this. Just like when you are trying to reboot a Windows server, right?
Hmm.
Um, when you try to do that, it'll tell you, hey, you got other people are logged onto it. Then you have to go and find who's on it and then inform them and say, hey, I need to do this particular thing and it requires a reboot. Can you log off or something like that?
Yeah.
Same
Uh,
stuff. Right?
yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's good. So you can see here rename, right? Rename option is also there. This is also very useful sometimes,
Mhm.
and probably I can change it to cloud PC or something, right? I'm not going to do that now, but there are some rules you need to follow as part of the renaming standards, right?
Yeah.
Okay, maximum 64 etc can contain a period, okay, and you cannot use these kind of special characters etc etc, right? And you cannot start with period, right? So these are very useful information. I think I really like
I
the end user portal of Windows
yeah.
365.
I like this too. I think you may have particular users getting provision for multiple cloud PCs. It'll be a nice way for them to customize it for themselves, right? So
Exactly.
I know, hey, this one I'm using it for admin sysadmin type of work, or this one I'm using it for something else or things like that. So you can segment that, but then you have your own way of organizing your own uh, cloud PC provisions rather
Exactly.
than having the standard name that may not make any sense to you, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's yeah, to be honest with you, yeah, probably this is coming from the provisioning policy, right?
right,
So in the provisioning policy, if I'm not wrong, I have given Windows 365 as a name. Okay, so probably I might have given some HR department. I can give HR department, right, as a provisioning policy name. Then user will see, oh, HR department and user's name. Okay, so
yeah,
basically this is two things, right? This is my username. Okay,
hmm
this part is my username and this part is probably the policy. Okay,
yeah,
this is provisioning policy and this is username. And if you want to customize something like hr cloud PC, right? HR cloud PC for, I don't know, for XYZ, we can do that easily, right?
yeah,
So that's good.
yeah. Sounds
Okay,
good.
now. Now the another important thing, right? Troubleshooting. You always get trouble, or you always get call call from users, right? Saying, "Oh, my AVD is not working now. Windows 365 is not working." And while troubleshooting, it is trying to access. I think in Microsoft documentation they have provided the exact steps it is
Yeah,
going through this troubleshooting scenario, right?
right.
So they go through some scenarios, some steps, and probably they will say like, oh, this is the problem with your internet connection, or probably you don't have enough speed, right?
Mhm.
Enough speed to connect to cloud PC. You might need to restart. I am not sure. I don't think they will say like, oh, you need to restart your router, or you need but at least it might say there's an internet problem, or something like that, right? So
It'll
that would
guide you. It'll probably point you to the right direction to take the next
exactly,
steps. Yeah.
exactly. So that is useful, I think.
Yeah.
This is also added value. So if you are trying to use this particular AVD client portal for Windows 365, then you are going to lose all these functionalities, right? So you need to be very careful when you take a decision, right?
Mhm.
To use AVD portal, or to use Windows 365 portal. So
Yeah.
my suggestion would be, if you are trying to do Windows 365 stuff, then I would always prefer this portal rather than this. Okay, that's my personal choice. Okay. Now the thing is, main launch pad is this, right? Open in browser.
Mhm.
Now, if I click on this, it is going to launch my cloud PC. So I'm going to click on that, and it says RDP file could not be downloaded. If this keeps happening, please contact your system administrator. Okay, that was good. I don't know what happened. That's interesting. It was working fine.
Always happens with demos.
Yeah, maybe this is another demo, right? let's
There you
let's
go.
try to
Restart it.
restart. This is useful, right?
Yeah.
Probably. Let's restart and try to do it again. I don't know how much time it is going to take to restart, but yeah, anyways, we will see. Believe me, it was working fine. Okay. That is what I can say. No. Now
Oh, I'm sure.
let's,
I'm sure.
yeah.
It always
Uh,
happens with demos.
yeah,
Uh,
let's
you.
try to restart and analyze how much time it is going to take to restart. In a AVD world, it
Let's
normally
restart it.
takes, yeah, it normally takes 2 to 3 minutes to VM to come back, right? In
It didn't take
AVD
that
world.
long for this one.
Yeah, probably let's try. And yeah, maybe I am
Maybe download
using,
the. Go back to the. Uh,
maybe it's my mistake. Maybe I'm using the wrong browser, right? Or something like that. Maybe because of that, I'm getting this error.
but you can also launch it from the RDP client, though, the one that you downloaded earlier. Or
Oh, that's, I'm using something else in that. So I don't want to do that at this point of time. But let's
okay, got it.
Windows 365 dot Microsoft.com. Okay. Now I don't know where is my. Let me let me pull
Choose
out
one of
my
those
username.
50 subscriptions you have.
50 subscription. I know how troublesome it is to keep all these, right?
Yes, exactly.
Super strong password, and click on no. Now, now this is login demo also. Now Uh, you have seen how to log into Windows 365. It's nothing but Azure AD username and password, right?
Yeah,
And let's try
let's try
to.
that.
Hey, it looks good.
Looks good.
Okay, so Chrome, sorry, Microsoft Edge is better than Firefox.
So that screen that we just saw earlier that gives you
Uh-huh.
the options of selecting, for example, if you want access to your local printer or your network
Yeah,
printer, the clipboard and things like that. So you can.
exactly. So maybe
There we go.
Firefox. Yeah, we are in the cloud PC now, right? So maybe the Firefox is having some trouble, maybe because I have some policies, or they might have some default policies. It is not allowing to download the RDP file in the background or something,
Right.
right? So yeah, but Microsoft Edge is always awesome, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So I have tiles, the startup tiles deployed. This is a custom settings which I deployed from Intune, right? And I can
Okay.
you can see 7-zip is deployed, right? 7-zip is deployed same from Intune, right? And there are some policies which is deployed from Intune. You can go to client settings and you can see if this opens up. I don't know.
Does it have the SCCM client?
Uh, Cloud PC,
It's all cloud PC.
yeah, only option. I think only option is co-management, right? If you are in a co-management scenario, probably,
Azure AD.
yeah, that will support SCCM, but the preference is in tune, right? I don't know why this is behaving odd, but yeah, everything works fine. Probably this is live demo, that is why it shows like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
so
basically, it's the what we're trying to show here is that you have a full blown a Windows computer, right? Like
exactly.
you're using your own on your own desktop
Mhm.
or laptop. You can do all the stuff that you're supposed to do and access. You can install your own um, apps or settings and change how it looks, and so you have the granular control when it comes to cloud PC.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see two vCPUs and all
Hmm.
the details which is mentioned over here. Two
Yep.
vCPUs, 8 GB of RAM, etc., etc. Right. So
Right.
that's good. That's good. Okay, so that was the quick demo I wanted to show. I know we did some troubleshooting also, so that is also good.
It's
Yeah,
always good. Yeah. No, that's a good demo. Good
yeah.
information. Um, so I know I don't know whether we want to bring up now, but I know you touched upon AVD and Windows 365, and there's been a lot of I've seen a lot of questions in the community, whether it's on Twitter or Reddit and things like that. Like, what is the difference? Like, and what's the use case for each of them? Right? Is there something that we can talk about and before we end the show?
Yeah, sure thing, sure thing. So first thing is Windows 365 is tightly integrated with Endpoint Manager, right? And it comes out of box with Endpoint Manager in tune, right? It comes with all the provisioning policies, etc. And it's tight. You can do everything from single pane of glass.
Right.
Okay, so that is a MEM portal, right? That's the first thing. At least from a device management admin like
Right.
me,
Right.
so
Right.
I love it, right? Rather
Yeah.
than going to Azure
It's
portal.
simple.
Yeah, rather than going to Azure portal and building a VM over there and then creating a group policy or selecting an option to Active Directory join or Azure
Right.
AD join, right? And putting down all the things, passwords, etc. And then assigning the policies, etc. Right? So from an overall perspective, I think in a ABD world, we need to manage everything. As an organization, we need to manage everything. We are responsible for creating VMs. We are responsible for the hardware part of the VM, like which SKU you want to select,
Right.
right? And the basic idea is this is user based licensing, right? The
Yeah.
biggest challenge in AVD world, from my perspective, is charging, right?
Mhm.
If your VM is on, then you need to you get bill for that, right? Microsoft will always charge you for the uptime of the
For
VM,
the
right?
consumption.
For the consumption, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So
The
in
memory, the
yeah,
storage, and yeah.
so you need to spend lot of efforts, lot of time, lot of engineering skills to customize your auto scaling technologies, right?
Right.
Scale up when needed, scale down when not needed.
Yeah.
You need to analyze, oh, if it's a multi-session scenario, right? If you are allowing like 10 or 15 users into a single VM, so multi-session single
Yeah.
VM, and you don't know when all the users will log off, right? Even
Right.
if one user is using that VM, you cannot shut that down.
Right.
For one user, you might need to run that VM for 2 days or 3 days, right? There could be
Yeah.
scenarios like that, right? So it is always like a risk factor is there in terms of consumption, even if you have kind of third party solution for
Yeah.
scale up, scale down, and all, right? So in this scenario, Windows 365 scenario, you don't have to worry about it at all, right? Microsoft is
The
giving you
licensing is different, right?
yeah,
You're paying per
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 user, right?
per user,
Per
per the
month.
number of the size of the drive, and it's already
Yeah,
paid up.
exactly.
Like, yeah.
So you
So
can
they
keep
can,
it to you
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 can keep
can
it
keep
running 24 hours.
yeah yeah
Yeah.
so
7 days
so
a week.
yeah, you don't have to like you are not burning money, right? So
Mm.
that is the important thing
So the
from
way,
a enterprise
yeah, the way
perspective.
I look at this is that AVD is, your traditional VDI, right? Like, for example, VMware Horizon, or, you know, Citrix, and all these other, solutions out there. And it's basically that concept where you're like, for example, I came from an education background, right? And you have a pool of computers for a lab, a teaching lab, or something like that, right? And for classrooms and stuff like that. So you got students, everybody gets the same thing. After the class is done, you can, or on reboot, they get wiped and they get come back to the standard configuration, right? So it's usually you don't have a lot of control as an end user. You don't have a lot of control in adding things and configuring it for yourself. It's just for very specific use cases.
Yeah,
Whereas the cloud PC or Windows 365, it's almost like you built your own separate Windows instance in like Hyper-V, or something like that, right? As a second, it's like having a second laptop kind
yeah,
of a thing. And you already paid for it, like you're paying for the hardware, like the laptop,
yeah,
and now you can do whatever you want. So kind of
yeah,
like two
that's
different scenarios.
true. And
And
also, right, in one of my blog posts, I have mentioned that this is something like segregation.
mhm,
Or if you want a server side of OS, right, multi-session is something like server OS, right?
right.
And it is kind of much more powerful than the Windows 10 single session, right? So if you want to do that kind of a scenario, if you want to offer remote application on a
Hmm.
multi-session, then you need to look into that kind of scenario, AVD kind of a scenario.
Right.
If your use case is something like this, like a personal desktop, then you should go with Windows 365, right?
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
don't know, but probably in future, Microsoft is going to introduce, I don't know, like a multi-session also for Windows 365. I don't know.
You never know. It could happen, right?
Yeah,
But then there will be a lot of overlap, right?
yeah, yeah.
A different. It's like, why, might as well just merge these technologies into one. So, but
Exactly.
yeah, it's possible. You never know. It's a different
Let's.
concept, but it's fun though. I'm really excited about Windows 365. I think Microsoft and the team behind it have done a fantastic job,
Exactly.
and there's more awesomeness to come, as
Yeah.
coming along. So another thing is that we should acknowledge our good friend Christian,
Yeah.
uh, who's behind the scenes with Windows 365, and we'll provide the links to his Twitter account and the blogs and stuff like that. Definitely follow Christian. He's an awesome guy, and really the one of the key people behind all of this.
Yeah.
So more exciting stuff to come. We'll share
Exactly.
later.
We'll share later.
So, anyways, I think that's a good show, great demo, and good information and a good discussion. Uh,
Yep. That's good.
so, until next time, you know where to find us. And
And don't forget to share, subscribe, and comment.
like.
Right? Like. Okay, I forgot to like one.
All right. Until next time,
Yeah.
right, please follow us, like, share, and yeah,
It.
namaste.
Namaste.